All right, so Algorithm, yes, it was the first book. And going into it, I thought writing a book might be pretty easy. What the heck? Or actually, I wasn't even sure I could write a book. So I wrote a first chapter, had my wife read it, and she said, that's pretty good. Looking back at it, of course, it was awful. But the fact is, it was the first chapter I ever wrote, and I was very much encouraged by that personal pat in the back. That was actually very important, because a writer just starting out, one of the first things is a lack of confidence. Can I really write a book? Who's going to read it? This is really lousy stuff. I can't even get the words right. I'm not even sure I should put a comma there. All that kind of stuff looms up. And you really have to ignore it. You have to forge ahead. So I did that. I went ahead and started writing this epic story about mankind's destiny, his purpose, all based on science. In this case, I grabbed onto what I knew about DNA. And I figured if there's an answer to that question anywhere, it'll be in our DNA. Because the one thing we know about DNA is that it's very, very self-serving. It's trying to survive. It's not really us, it's the species of every animal and plant life on this earth. The only purpose anyone has here so far, as I can tell, is to keep the DNA going. So it's very self-serving. So there must be something in the DNA that could be a clue as to why we're here and how we got here, perhaps even. In fact, that's some of the themes that you see in the TV series Ancient Aliens, of course. They're all grappling, I'm sorry, it's a horrible word. They're all grasping at what evidence or what clues we have as to our existence. So that is also a reason why Ancient Aliens is probably a very popular program. Although it extrapolates wildly on various topics, you can see what they're trying to do there. So same with the Algorithm. There was a movie that came out following the Aliens series called Prometheus. That was an attempt at discovering what our origins were, what our purpose was. And it happens that Algorithm came out about the same time. So I thought maybe they were taking some of the stuffing out of my work, but not really. They went a different direction. But anyway, so I enjoyed writing this thing. Now what happened was, what took so long, I was still working as a scientist. So there was a lot of time spent at my day job and very little time on the book. Another thing that happened was that I'm what they call a pantser rather than a plotter. So a pantser is the seat of the pants kind of writing. I let the story evolve and let it go in whatever direction it wants to go. Whereas a plotter pretty much knows what's going to happen in every chapter and how the whole book ends. Now that's not me. I enjoy the trip as much as a reader does, maybe more so because I get a chance to play God in the book. If I want to change something, if I want to make something happen, that's one of the things I noticed really right away writing a book. You get to like chapter 20 and you wish something else had happened before this. And you say, well, wait, I can make that happen. So I go back to chapter 3 and make it happen. That's a fun part, also another fun part of writing a book. Anyway, I got to a point in Algorithm where I had a number of people stuck in a cave. And I didn't have a clue as to how to get them out of there. And I really lost, I know this is embarrassing, but I lost maybe half a year. I got into a mental blank, a writer's block kind of thing, and I got into a situation where I just couldn't figure it out. Until one day I finally said, okay, that's it, that's enough. I'm going to sit down and figure this thing out. And what I had to do is I had to be a plotter all of a sudden. I had to write down an outline, put down where everybody was, how they're going to get out of this step by step by step by step, and that worked out. So I can't say I'm a perfect pantser, but there are situations, if you're writing that way, you have to watch out. Because you can get into a situation where you worked yourself into a corner, and because you figured, oh, well, I'll figure this out, and you can't. So be careful of that. My solution was to attack it with an outline, analyze the situation, person by person, get them out of that fix, or get them out of that corner, and proceed with the story. And after that, things rolled along pretty smoothly.